What's up, my players, and welcome to a special episode of Gaming Treble. Today, we celebrate the most awesome event of all of gaming. The 35th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog, the fastest blue blur in the universe, the hedgehog with the attitude. And of course, I'm with my prestigious friends. I'm Torrance Hudson, aka the old school player, aka the Ironheart Xbox. And of course, we have Johnny Elisea, the achievement hunter, and of course, the Neon Shogun, Tony San Miguel. And we are just gonna gush out and geek out about the most awesome mascot in Sega history. Dudes, my fellow dudes, let's talk about Sonic the Hedgehog. Where was Sonic the Hedgehog in your life, and how did you actually begin to learn about the most awesome hedgehog in the universe?
Well, for me, it was my godbrother who lived like downstairs from me, and he had the Sega Genesis. And then when Sonic the Hedgehog came out, I saw the commercial, and I was like, "Oh, who is this Sonic guy?" I say, "Oh, he's a hedgehog. He looks like he runs fast. I saw him going upside down the loops." And then when my godbrother got the game, went down to his house, played it. I didn't even want to. I swear to you, I did not want to get off this Genesis at all. That's how I experienced the hedgehog with the attitude. That's the first time I experienced Sonic. So yeah. What about you, Tony? When did you experience the hedgehog with the attitude, the Blue Bird himself?
I was already into Sega by then because I was a Master System guy, and then I went straight to the Genesis. I did not own a Nintendo product yet.
Sega!
So my friends at school didn't have Sega, so I had no one to talk about it with. I found out through commercials, TV, and seen it in the mall, seen advertisements at the mall. So I said, okay, this looks really cool. The speed is what caught me. At first, I thought it was going to be some dumb kids game where it's just, regular platformer. Okay, I want to go play something else like Contra. No, when I saw that speed, I was hooked. I was in.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And boy, did I play the hell out of the original trilogy and Knuckles. Those are other family memories. My cousins, my sister, that's all we played.
The original trilogy is like one of the best in video game history.
Still is. Well, I'll tell you about my experience in Sonic the Hedgehog. This was actually when I was a young little lad. I went over to my friend's house, which actually lived right up the hill from where I used to live in White Plains, New York. And he actually got a new console. And I'm saying to myself, "Oh, cool, new console, no big deal," because Sega Genesis was actually already available. Everyone knew about Sega Genesis. And the first Sega Genesis game that came packaged in was Altered Beast, but there was a new bundle coming out, which actually had Sonic the Hedgehog, the new mascot. So I was thinking to myself, "Oh, sure, no problem," and I looked at the cartridge and stuff like that. I was interested. The first thing I look for is the instruction booklet. I pulled out that instruction booklet and everything. I was kind of flipping through it and everything while they popped the cartridge in and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, when they popped that cartridge in, the first thing I saw, Sega. I was like, "Ooh," and I said, "Okay, no problem." And then all of a sudden, that iconic song came on, and then we were watching, of course, the little demo they showed, and they pushed the start button, and then the first thing that I noticed is how fast the character went across the screen.
Yeah.
Speed, man.
Yeah.
The speed was actually what got me. And then, of course, when he turned into that little ball and actually gone faster and see how this and
going around that loop caught my attention.
I
was like, wow.
And the verticality and all that stuff, you actually could go up and around and those loops and those ramps and all that stuff and the rings, and then all of a sudden when you get hit by the rings fly all over the place. Dude, are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. That's insane. And I said, okay, yes, I'm in. Now, this is actually when the Sega Genesis was touting their Blast processor. And they were saying, hey, you know what? Super Nintendo can't do this. Super Nintendo can't do this because, remember all the slowdown that the Super Nintendo had and stuff like that? Remember, certain parts of the thing, and the thing was just slowed down to almost to a crawl. Sega Genesis didn't have that in any of their games. There was basically no slowdown at all, and Sonic proved that. He was like faster than a plumber, and of course they touted that, and that was my first experience of Sonic the Hedgehog, and from that point on, I was hooked, man. They already had me though. I mean, Sega Genesis already had me because they already arcade. Sega, when it came to arcade, they already got me. Sonic the Hedgehog had me set, and everyone was going to say, "Hey, Sonic the Hedgehog and that thing is the new mascot. Is the real cool, the hip, mascot. The one for the cool kids. Mario is for the kiddies. Sonic is for the teens. The attitude era.
Yeah. It also, know what's crazy about Sonic though? It also caught the eyes of Michael Jackson as well. Because Michael Jackson was a big, huge fan of Sonic. He even went over into their headquarters, and then played it. And remember, he also worked a little bit on Sonic the Hedgehog 3 as well. So I don't know that though, but yeah, it caught a lot of attention. Sonic caught a lot of attention from a lot of people. And you're catching the King of Pop's attention. That's huge. Okay, that is huge.
Michael Jackson already had pretty much a foothold in Sega from the giddy up, but Sonic the Hedgehog kind of cemented it in a sense because this character was a big deal, and that was what was so cool about it, and that's the reason why it really took off. It became the icon. It became the one that actually had influence in everything, in entertainment and all that stuff. People kept on talking about it. It caught the eye of the whole entire video game industry, and that's the reason why. And of course, when it came down to the blast processing, the Sega versus Nintendo thing. You remember the little Winnebago and everything that was actually did the carving, and then they showed the spot. Sonic the Hedgehog was pretty much at the head of that one, which is pretty cool. So
yeah.
Oh my goodness. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the humble beginnings of Sonic, and how Sonic really came to be. Sonic actually had a huge history, but I'm just going to go briefly on some things that actually where it came from. The Sonic team was actually built through their company AM. You remember, the AM team, the AM2 team. They had AM4 team. All the teams were they actually did certain genres, arcade, console, and also puzzles and what have you, and they all got split into teams. The AM8 team, which is one that deals with like platformers such as Alex Kidd and all that stuff, they actually created a new team called the Sonic team. Sonic team was built in the background. No one knew about Sonic Team until Sonic the Hedgehog got released. 1990, they actually held a contest. Because Mario was a big influence. Mario was all over the place. Mario cereal. They had. Nintendo pretty much almost like ruled the roost. When people talk about video game consoles, they said, "Who are you still playing that Nintendo?" And even though it's not a Nintendo console and everything, they consider a console a Nintendo, which is crazy. That's how big the influence Nintendo was. Sega was almost like the thorn in Nintendo's side. So of course, Sega had to find a rival. So they made a contest within their walls of their development studios, and they're like, you know what? We want to create a new character or a rival for Mario. So they came up with several concepts: bulldog, wolf, armadillo, rabbit, kangaroo, which I think I mentioned before. Before we aired, I said
they came close to the rabbit, dude.
Yeah, rabbit would have been cool.
The rabbit came very close.
Yeah, it certainly did. It certainly did. And then of course, even a mustache man in pajamas. Yeah, we already say
we don't need that.
Creepy. Nah, that wouldn't work.
No, definitely not.
So basically, the hedgehog won hands down, and the mustache man in pajamas became the man that was as Dr. Eggman or Dr. Robotnik. And so, in 1991, before the game got released, there was a little icon or little chain, if you actually noticed and everything, in a game called Radmobile. Remember Radmobile in the arcades? It was like a first person driving game that it almost seems like you were riding on these weird roads, and they actually had this twists and turns and stuff like that. There's a little swinging little icon that says that was Sonic the Hedgehog. That was the first appearance of Sonic the Hedgehog in any video game. The concept was already there, so they were kind of putting it out there preemptively, and I didn't even know that. I thought Sonic the Hedgehog was like, oh shoot, they threw Sonic the Hedgehog into a game. Radmobile came out before Sonic the Hedgehog actually came out.
So they already had the idea of Sonic already, though.
Exactly.
They just want to give people a sneak peek.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool, pretty damn cool. I had no idea about that. What do you think about that, Tony?
The Sonic trivia? I got other Sonic trivia I wanted to bring in.
Yeah, bring it.
Oh yeah, bring it, man. Do it.
He went super before Goku.
Oh, that's right. That's right. The Chaos Emeralds. Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Chaos Emeralds. Yep.
There's 7 of them. 7 of them. And then he turns super.
Okay. And he turns into super, yes.
Okay, check this out. What's this even cooler?
Vegeta dresses like Sonic.
That's true too.
Yeah.
Holy crap! I didn't know. Dude.
Yeah.
Sonic had a
later one with the white gloves and the blue spandex.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's dressed like Sonic the Hedgehog, and he's got his haircut.
Oh my god! I just realized that too. That blew my mind.
Yeah, Vegeta's Sonic.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
I still remember. I think I remember when I was playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yeah,
They introduced Buddy Tails.
Yep, Buddy Tails. Now, check this out. When I was playing, because my sister was right next to me, I was playing it, and I finally got all 7 Chaos Emeralds. The last stage was a bitch. It really was. The cool thing about my thing got blurry again.
My sister would troll me on those bonus levels for the Chaos Emeralds.
Yeah. Now, the very
trying to
last,
make me miss.
the last.
I get
No
so
wrong.
angry when
Goku
I
turned
miss
super
it.
first.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, the last one. The last level was, it gave me angina because all the rings were kind of scattered, and what's even worse is that you have a choice to play Sonic alone or playing with Tails. I decided to play the whole entire game with my buddy Tails. Now remember, Tails can grab rings too, and it counts against you if Tails actually gets hit. So that means if Tails got some rings while you're gathering the rings for trying to get the Chaos Emerald, and Tails gets hit, and you're just almost there, and Tails gets hit, and you lose all those rings, and it tells you have 20 to go, and you're like right there towards the end of that run, which happened to me so many times.
Oh,
you know how many times I was so livid. I said,
yeah.
But getting back to my story. I got the 7 Chaos Emeralds, and I didn't read the fine print because it says you gotten all 7 Chaos Emeralds, and then after that it said now you can turn to Supersonic, but I didn't read that part. I thought, oh, you can turn it to Tails, or you can swap, whatever it is, right? No, I didn't pay attention. So I played. I think I was in the. I forgot what zone it was. I got 50 rings because we get 50 rings to turn the supersonic, and I had to also got the invincibility. So I got the invincibility, and then I went into the little hole and that jumped, and then I heard the music change. Dun, 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 dun. I was like this, and then I ran out, and I had like golden hair and stuff like that, and I was like blasting. I was invincible. I was like.
And you're even faster. You're even faster.
Holy crap! Dude, I never had so much fun in my life. It was like amazing. And I saw my coins like going down. I was like, oh, do I have to keep getting coins? Oh my god. Dude, yeah. I was like blasting throughout the whole entire stage.
Getting all the rings. Get as much rings as you can. You won't sit like that.
It was amazing. And I said, yeah. Dude, I was geeking out, man. I was geeking out. I said, this is the freaking amazing. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my entire life. What game actually had something as amazing as that? Innovative, amazing, fast, crazy. I was going faster than the screen. I literally, the screen couldn't keep up. I was like, oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
I love you, Sonic. I love you. I love you even more. Absolutely. It was amazing. Best time in my life. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say my experience when I first saw Supersonic was I had a issue of GamePro magazine, and they didn't want to spoil it. They said that they didn't want to show the screenshot because GamePro was good. They rather let you you work it out and then you see the reward yourself. So I told my godbrother, he said, hey, listen, we gotta try to get all the Chaos Emeralds because he said something that after you get all the Chaos Emeralds and if you get 50 rings and you jump up, you'll turn to something they called Supersonic. And my godbrother was like, what? Supersonic? What the hell is that? You know, it's like, and I said let's just try to get all those Chaos Emeralds. So then we finally did it, and then after I jumped up. And I saw that, and these guys like, and then my godbrother was like, "Holy shit!" Like it blew him away. Like he had no idea about that. So he thanked me that day when I told him about that I had that issue of GamePro that showed me how to be supersonic. So.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and then right from there, we just make sure we try to get the 50 rings and try to go through the game we can with supersonic. So.
It was almost like a cheat code, man. Once you get supersonic and when you get to the final boss and stuff like that, when you get to the boss it was like a cheat code. You sit right there. You're like, okay, can I just sit there? Let me just sit here. The only time you can't do that is I think at the end, the last boss, because you can't really get 50.
You can't get any rings.
You can't get any rings at all.
Yeah, that's the issue though. So you have to. Everything is like. Yeah, it's like you're on your own. You can't do it with Supersonic. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have Supersonic like throughout before that, it's so simple to just get through. The only thing is that you have to be careful not to get squashed because remember, if you get squashed, you can still get killed.
You can still get killed, and also pitfalls. You can actually
also drown as well.
Yep, and you can still drown. Yep. So, wow. But you know what though? That was the most amazing thing that Sega could ever do. They really took it to the next level, So, Tony, I noticed you played all 3 games. What do you think when you actually turned into Supersonic?
Dragon Ball, dude.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
And I went nuts for it,
dude.
I went nuts for it. Yeah, I went insane.
Yeah, because the influence of Dragon Ball and Sonic the Hedgehog just.
20 months before Goku turned Super Saiyan, 20 months before Sonic.
That's crazy.
So, switch what I said before earlier back. I was wrong. But that's what it makes me think of to this day still.
Mm-hmm.
But you brought up something that made me giggle, man, because I remember, all right, what is the most stressful thing in the Sonic games you've ever experienced? Mine, it was that drowning sound effect.
Yeah.
Oh my
god. Goes down.
Yeah,
you have to make sure you get a bubble. Yeah, that's why you're always sitting at that little spot where you see the bubble. You say, come on, hurry up, where's that big bubble? There you go.
Yeah, the Labyrinth Zone,
The music.
the
music.
one, the music.
Oh man.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man, that's terrifying. It's scary too.
And then you feel bad. You feel
Yeah.
bad when you see the ground. You're like, oh man.
And that's the reason why Sonic
Poor
can't
guy.
swim. And that's the reason why Sonic can't swim. Which is reason why that he actually gets influenced and everything about swimming and water and all that stuff. He ain't down with that, bruh.
No,
he can't swim.
He's gonna dash through that water if he can.
Exactly. You know.
Yeah.
But
Oh, man.
let me tell you something. So basically, June 23rd, 1991, the debut of Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, you know what the cool thing about Sonic the Hedgehog is? Sonic the Hedgehog was a pack-in title. I don't know if they decided to pack it in, you know, beforehand and say, you know what, we don't want to take a risk because they want to sell more consoles, or they said, you know what, we're gonna do it both ways. We're gonna have it, you know, for sale by itself, and we're also gonna have it as a bundle. I think there was a little bit of both.
They
I
did
think
do it a
so,
little.
because I already had it, and I didn't buy the bundle. I just bought the cartridge.
Yeah, you just bought the cartridge, right?
Yeah.
Some
I
people,
had the
some
Genesis
people,
for 2 years already.
yeah,
So
yeah, some people actually just bought the game outright, you know.
yeah, I just
some,
bought the
some people didn't never bought the Genesis though, because remember the Super Nintendo was coming around at that time, and don't forget, people already know the Super Nintendo was coming with Super Mario World.
Oh,
So
yes.
there you go. So Sega said, you know what, we have to bundle our new mascot with this, you know. So they have to compete though, and plus Sega had an advantage though, because remember they were selling the Sega Genesis system with Sonic the Hedgehog was for $149.99. Remember that commercial with
Yes,
that kid?
right. Yes,
You
and they
remember
did that. Look at the magical colors.
Yeah, little cousin. They go over
Oh,
here.
yeah.
He said, "No, I'll take Sonic. He's fast. So, and plus it's cheaper too. You know."
Yeah, that's
It's
all.
all
I love the
different.
commercial. Oh my gosh, so amazing.
Yeah.
So, but let me tell you, but you know what? I think Sonic the Hedgehog being the best 2D platformer at that time, because there was a lot of other influential games that came out around that same time. We have Arrow the Acrobat that came out. You had Bubsy. Remember the Bubsy? The Bubsy the
Of course.
Bobcat. You know, and then of course you had the slow sluggish ones like Gex. Remember Gex the Gecko?
Yeah, Gex didn't come out till like later on, until like in the mid '90s.
Yeah, to the mid '90s. And I forgot what other titles that actually came out around that same time and everything, because they were trying to ride that train in a sense.
Yeah.
You know, and but Sonic the Hedgehog pretty much took off on its own. It really did go head to head with Mario Brothers. It went head to head.
Yeah.
And you know, and they sold like I think I'm trying to remember how many copies they sold. Like what was that, like 100,000
Yeah,
copies?
they
I think
were
it was.
battling each other, man. If you see,
It's
I don't know if you remember. I remember seeing a couple gaming magazines. They always have like Sonic and Mario like butting heads with each other. You see that a lot.
Oh yeah,
on those gaming magazines at that time.
Now think about console wars at the time. Console wars was big when it came to Sonic and Mario. Sonic was all for the hip, cool kids. Mario was for like the kids, you know, who the young at heart kind of stuff. He's like, oh, Mario, Mario, that's old and sluggish Mario. Who cares? Mario can fly. Who cares? Sonic is super fast. Sonic could be able to do this. Sonic actually held on. You know, it was just a back and forth. I still remember people were like, "Oh, I like Sonic better because Sonic look how rad he looks, man. Look at this. You know, come on, dude."
Yeah.
And I agree. You know, Sonic doesn't have no fireballs, but Sonic can't fly. Sonic, I'm like, dude.
Mario's got so many power-ups than Sonic.
Power-ups and Sonic.
You know?
Sonic, I'm like, Sonic don't need that. I'm like, we tell people, say, Sonic don't need that. Sonic boom, baby. Sonic boom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think
it was wild times, man, but it was good times.
So I think Sonic the Hedgehog 2 came out what year?
1992 it came
1992.
out.
Yeah, a year later. Sonic 2 came out literally a year later. It's like
Yeah,
they wanted to strike while the iron was hot. And
absolutely. Yeah.
and I think the reason why Sonic 2 came out so quickly is because a lot of the stages that they wanted to use, they weren't able to fit into the cartridge. So they moved it on to Sonic 2. Then
Right.
they were thinking, oh, because I think they were going to make Sonic 1 a two-player game. So they said, okay, you know what? The Fox idea, remember they were going to have a wolf. They had the wolf, remember the wolf they actually were going to put in there? Well,
Yep.
the wolf turned into a fox, and the fox actually became the partner or the best friend of Sonic. Now the two-tail idea, which is kind of funky. I actually they were thinking, having the character fly. How could foxes fly? Well, the two tails turns into
You
propeller.
go. Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
know, and the fact that it can actually carry Sonic, so Sonic can
Yep.
actually be carried by Tails.
And also, Tails had his own. He had his own plane too, as well.
That's
And
right.
then,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So,
And
there you go.
and one more cool fact.
Sure.
Tails' real name. They
Yes.
call him Miles.
Miles per hour.
Miles per hour. Miles
Yeah.
per hour.
Yep. Exactly. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
I just found that out today,
Yes.
a couple seconds ago.
Yeah. So and people were like,
Mhm.
yeah. I was like, oh, that's so damn cool. Miles per hour, thing, or
Miles
nickname
per hour,
Tails. So that's pretty cool. I love the concept. It's so freaking
Yeah.
amazing.
I thought it was really cool. Mm-hmm.
So Sonic 2 introduced the spin dash.
Yeah.
The
Press
spin
the
dash.
down and press the jump. Yep.
Yep.
And
So you could be
you can tap it as many times as you want.
Yep,
To
and
set
you
up
go
that speed.
and you go faster. You go faster.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The best stage, Chemical Zone, the most popular
Chemical Zone?
stage. Chemical
Yeah.
Zone was the most popular zone in the Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Because of all the loops and speed and all that stuff, it was ridiculous. And even the music was influential as well. It was
Yeah.
crazy. I love the music. I was like,
Yeah.
dude.
The second stage.
Oh, gosh. Now it makes me want to play the game. Now I want to play it again. Just for the hell of it. Just for that stage alone. Because it was just amazing.
Yeah.
Another fun fact, because I'm going to throw this in there. Did you know in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, you can actually get all 7 Chaos Emeralds in the first stage?
How?
How? Really?
There are 7 gateways in the first 2 stages of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. They're all the way up. I didn't realize this, but you can actually, when you explore, if you go too far, you will actually miss them. So you have to make sure that you actually explore up and down wherever you go. Because at the very top, there's another location where you see those platforms, there's another gateway. There are 4 in the second stage, 3 in the first stage. Once you get all 7 Chaos Emeralds, you will become Supersonic and everything in the very beginning of the game. And you actually have Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh wow! I didn't know there was that many.
Yeah.
That's wow.
Yeah. So that's a nice little Easter egg for you guys. So,
nice.
So guys, explore. Have a good time. Once you get all 7 Chaos Emeralds and everything, thank me later. Sonic, you'll be Supersonic throughout the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Fun.
Nice.
You have 10 minutes. You can explore the entire level.
Oh
yeah.
Yo.
That's a lot of time they give you. They give you a lot of time, dude.
They give you a hell of a lot of time.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
Yep.
10
That's
minutes.
all you need. That's all you need.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Let's see.
So are we ready to go on to another amazing sequel, Sonic the Hedgehog 3?
Before Sonic the Hedgehog 3, there was the Sega CD.
Gaming Treble will return after this commercial break.
Danita Stokes, president of HAG.
It's bad enough that Sega Genesis has the most 16-bit games, but this new Sonic the Hedgehog, oh, he really doth my doilies. They say he's incredibly fast. Well, what's the hurry, mister? And about his attitude. Smarty pants. Why can't it be more like that nice boy Mario? Oh! Little brat!
Now, get Sonic free when you buy a Sega Genesis system at its new price of $149.99.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling the love. You feel the glove, love. Yo, what's your name? Gary Payton, but they call me the glove. How you feeling tonight? Yo, I'm feeling the love. Feel the love, glove. Sonic. Yo, Sonic. Man, stay off the light speed.
My bad.
Sonic Adventure on Sega Dreamcast. It's thinking.
Come on then, right.
Play Sonic Adventure together on Dreamcast. Up to 6 billion play.
We now return to the show. Turn up the treble.
Okay.
The second CD was like the new revolution of gaming prowess, and Sonic the Hedgehog, of course, had to get a piece of that action. So Sonic
CD, yes.
Yep, Sonic CD had the most iconic the title sequence, of course, with the animation and stuff like that. Even though it was not the best quality, but the music itself, there were two different versions. The Japanese actually had their own Go Sonic, I think it was Go Sonic, was it Sonic Fever? Was it Sonic I forgot what the song was
the
called.
English version was Sonic Boom.
Yeah, Sonic Boom. Yeah, Sonic Boom was actually the American version, the US version. And then the Japanese version was something else. It was called Go Sonic Go, I think it was called. And let me tell you something. That music alone, the American version, people said that the American version was the US version of the OST was not as good as the Japanese version. Okay. I would say some of the stages actually didn't work, but some of the other stages did. Now, I told everyone that you have to play both versions to understand why people actually prefer the Japanese version. You actually have the option. Remember, you can actually go forward in time and back in time in Sonic CD, which actually was a new feature. You can if you go back in time, you're supposed to be able to stop the event and stop the machines from actually becoming what they are. And we have to find the time disruptor, I think it was called, in certain stages. Once you destroy it, then you're good to go. And then when you go into the third stage, you have what you call the good future, which is actually, fantastic. Neutral future, which means nothing really changes at all. And then you have the bad future, because you didn't do anything. You actually decided not to destroy anything. So the bad future is when the music changes into this weird, dark version of the soundtrack. And then, of course, you have the good future, which actually has the more hippie and fun, and you see all the birds and all that stuff flying all over the place, So that is so damn cool. I love that. And of course, Sonic CD was the debut of Amy Rose.
Yes.
Yes. And I think Metal Sonic actually got to mix it. Well, not his debut, but he actually shows up as well.
Right.
I
just found out the Japanese version of Sonic CD features. It was two songs. It was Sonic, You Could Do Anything, And the ending theme was cosmic internally. Believe in yourself.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So
I had to look that up.
indeed. Now you know what, but you know what's really cool about the soundtrack? The soundtrack, believe it or not, was very iconic
Yeah.
because they actually decided to release the Sonic Boom, which is Sonic Boom is actually the entire U.S. soundtrack of Sonic CD.
Mm-hmm.
I actually purchased that soundtrack. I without even knowing that it was actually part of Sonic CD. I brought it home and I popped it in. I was listening to it and I was rocking to it. It was amazing. But it was not the OST, the one that you play off the second CD. It was the complete versions of each and every song. So I was like, I didn't know that because when I played the Sonic CD for the first time, I was like, oh snap! Oh, I was listening to the Sega CD version of the Sonic the Hedgehog Sonic CD the whole time. Oh, that's so damn cool! Best soundtrack still to this day.
It is one of the best.
Yes, Labyrinth Zone.
What amazed me about Sonic CD was like the graphics, the sprites in that game was amazing. Especially when Sonic was like going up, and he does that little twirl when he goes up,
when he goes up. Yeah.
Different animations. That was amazing. When I first
Indeed.
played it.
And yep, and also there's two different dashes. There's a dash where he actually turns into a ball, and there's a dash where he actually just spins his legs. So you can do either one. If you hold up and you press the dash button, he'll actually spin his legs and everything really fast, and he will dash across the screen. Press down, he'll actually turn into a ball, and he'll dash across the screen. So pretty good. I love the mechanics. Now they're not Chaos Emeralds in this one though. They're called Time Gems.
Right.
Time Gems is what you're getting in the game. Now, fun fact, and this is actually a rumor, take it with a grain of salt. Sonic 4, the movie, when it comes out, we're going to get into the movies in a second, but Sonic 4 may be dealing with time gems this time around.
I think that's what's going to be, especially we saw that teaser trailer. So
yeah, so it's going to be Sonic CD. It's going to be all about.
That's what's going to be.
And I can't wait. Oh, I'm excited. Holy cow, man. Dude. Yes. So so you want anything you want to add before we move on to Sonic 3?
No, you pretty much nailed everything about Sonic CD. It was definitely a fantastic game, but going to like the past and future was like bananas.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It was bananas, but in a good way.
In a very good way. Oh
yeah.
Gosh, so damn good, man. I love Sonic CD. Sonic CD, believe it or not, was in Sega jail for a long time.
For like almost like I would say about like 10 years though, because they didn't release that game until they brought out the Sonic Gems collection. And when they released the Gem collection, Sonic CD was in there. And then much later on it came out on Xbox Live, and then it came out on PSN as well. So
that's right.
But now the game's available anyway. It's on the Sonic Origins collection, so you'll be able to play that now.
Did you know that it actually was available on mobile before it actually got available in the Gems collection? It actually was available on the mobile devices.
Are you talking about like Android, or are you talking about like the old mobile phones, like back in we're talking about mid 2000s?
Oh no. Well, just about that time, before Androids became very ultra powerful, they actually had it in not the Google store. I think it was iPhones. It was on iPhones. iPhones was a thing, and iPhones seemed to get all the good games before the Google store got better. And they had the Sonic CD game. You could be able to download it and play it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was because I was looking this up and I said, Whoa, they actually had that available on mobile phones before they actually had it in the Gems collection? Whoa,
Yeah,
mind blown.
yeah. You're surprised.
Yeah, well, you know
So
what? The thing is that mobile phones, everybody has one. You
yeah.
get a bigger reach. So I
Hmm.
guess that happens. Same thing would happen to Double Dragon. Double Dragon, it was another
Oh yeah. Yep.
which is a tragedy though. I mean,
Tragedy
that
that we can't even play that game now, and I paid for the damn game.
yeah, even when you pay for it, that's we'll get into that. Trust me, because Sonic CD actually suffered the same fate.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So we're going to Sonic 3 now.
Yeah, we're going to Sonic 3. We're definitely
Let's
going to
do it.
Sonic 3. Sonic 3. For new engine, new graphics, and of course, new influence by the King of Pop himself.
Yes.
He actually had more influence in the entire game than people actually realized. He actually
Hmm.
helped out with the soundtrack to the Sonic to the and the sound effects and everything. So basically, his hand was literally in Sonic 3.
Yeah.
Um, this was the big debut of Knuckles,
Yes.
of course the new mechanics, and of course the graphics as well. So you
Yeah.
see everything in there. You know, you got the 3D sphere to be able to get
It
the
was.
Chaos Emeralds and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's
It was amazing. I'll never forget that stage where in the first stage though, when you reach to that machine though that starts shooting the fire, and then you see like the whole screen go on fire. You see like the floors and everything's all burned up. When I first saw that, because I remember I played it at KB Toy stores, because at the time, and I want to say this game came out. It was February 1994 when it came out, so like
that's
two
right.
years.
Yep.
That was really good though. But
Mm.
when I played that, when I saw that, I was amazed by that. I was like, wow, like the way everything like the whole stage changed and the
Mm.
atmosphere, you feel the environment. It's like, man, they really put a lot of work into that game.
They
So
really, and believe it or not, the secret rings were actually hidden. They were actually in walls. I thought
yes,
it was at the end of the stage. Nope. They said, "Oh, you gotta break through these walls. You gotta find them rings."
yeah, you gotta find the walls and you gotta break them with your spin dash.
Yep.
Yeah,
And you got new power ups. You have the bubble, you have the flames, and you have the electric.
yes,
You know the
mm-hmm.
the electric one actually attracts the rings. The
Track, yeah,
fire actually gives you the fire dash, and the bubble
mm-hmm.
actually gives you the bubble bounce. And also, what's cool, a cool feature with the bubble is that you can breathe underwater.
Yes, that's
Yes,
right. Took the
yes.
words out of my mouth. Hmm.
So yeah, that was the cool feature though.
Yeah,
I love the fact that they actually used the elements this time, and when it has better influence, which is cool too
absolutely.
because with the electric one, you can't get hit by metal objects; they bounce off of you.
Yeah,
Fire, you're actually invisible to fire, flames, so you can actually
yeah. But if you go in the water, then it's gone.
yeah, exactly, and you
So
lose
it
that
makes
power up
sense,
completely.
obviously.
So they really have an influence in the elements, which is really cool. So man, they were really thinking outside the box with this game. They really
Yeah.
really was.
I know people saying that, oh, they thought Sonic 2 was the best one, but to me, out of the trilogy, if I had to pick between 1, 2, and 3, I would say the third one was much better. The third
And it
one
was
was the best one to me. I
and
know
it was
people love the
Gameplay
second one.
wise, by far, too. Gameplay
What's that?
wise.
oh gameplay wise, yes,
Gameplay wise, by
yeah,
far.
Yeah,
yes. Mm-hmm.
you know.
Um, another cool thing
That
about
was the best one.
huh? What was that? Oh yes,
I
yes.
agree. It was the best one.
Oh yeah, best one indeed. Now, what's cool about Sonic 3? Little fun fact: the soundtrack had to be altered in certain
Yes.
stages because certain soundtracks actually was licensed by Michael Jackson
Yeah. Hmm.
so
Yeah.
now
I know what you're talking about.
so that soundtrack will no longer be available for any further iterations of Sonic 3, which is ridiculous, which is the reason why it's been delisted. You cannot buy that game again with the soundtrack. like that.
Yeah.
You can play it if you have it, which I do. I can play it without any alterations. But if you didn't, you'll never be able to experience the real soundtrack like the classic.
Yeah, exactly. You would have to the Sonic collections you would have to get. If you cannot like for some reason like get an actual the Genesis cartridge of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, you would have to go back to like the collections before 2010.
Mm-hmm.
I can name a few of them. There's the Sonic Mega Collection.
Yep.
That's on the original Xbox, GameCube, and Xbox, and original Xbox, PS2, and GameCube. That's one. And then you can also get the Sonic Ultimate Genesis Collection, and that's there. You can get that as well. And unfortunately, if you're one of the people that did not get the Xbox Live one, then you're pretty much out of luck on that version, though. But then there's also the Sonic Classic Collection on Nintendo DS that has it right there too. But there's options. So I mean, if you really want to experience the true soundtrack, that's the only way you'll be able to experience it, because Sonic Origins collection that came out recently, a couple years ago, you can play Sonic 3, but the actual soundtrack's not there.
It's been altered. So, it's not the same, dude.
So those are your options. So I'm giving you guys, some options if you want to like play to play it again with the actual soundtrack. Those are your options I'm giving you. So seek out those.
Yes, exactly, dude. That's why going retro hunting is like imperative. Keep the classics alive, unaltered, and you'll actually enjoy yourself and thank us later. Trust me, you'll thank us, because that soundtrack is epic. It is. It really is
one of the most awesome soundtracks I ever heard.
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely heavily influenced by Michael Jackson.
Yeah, the king of pop himself.
Yeah, indeed. Then of course they had the expansion that was available around the same year, Sonic and Knuckles.
Yes.
Now Sonic and Knuckles is a very interesting little hybrid, if per se. Coolest thing about it is that you can attach both Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, and actually have Knuckles as the main character, and his abilities will be available in those games. So that means the ability of flight, and also his and his climb and the climbing. Yes.
Yeah.
So you actually have both of those abilities in those type of games. So you have verticality, you have all that stuff, which is so damn cool. So it'll make the gameplay experience so much different.
Yes.
And of course the cartridge by itself is actually Knuckles, Sonic and Knuckles pretty much in the same adventure, but it's a whole new take on the game. So which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome the way they did that.
Yeah, that was ahead of its time too. That just that kind of thing. You don't see that at all for any other console. None.
No, I've never seen that at all.
Yeah,
it's almost like they got a patent on that technology.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
And speaking of which, we'll go into the future. Let's talk about the expansion experiments. There's a lot of experiments out of the Sonic the Hedgehog that actually influence the new technologies to boost graphic fidelity and, of course, power out of the Sega Genesis. Super Nintendo was actually pretty much at the pinnacle of their technology, but they were going to move on to a newer technology, and everybody already knows about that. I believe the PlayStation was kind of in the weaves in a sense. People were talking about it. They were talking about a new CD expansion that was going to go to the Super Nintendo. Sega caught wind of that, and they were like, we're going to have to kind of work on getting a boost. So what did they do? They actually did the Sega CD add-on, and of course the 32X. around that same wavelength. The 32X was supposed to be the 32-bit graphics upgrade to the Sega Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. This is before the
Yeah.
Sega Saturn. Before the Sega Saturn
Came kind of close.
Yeah, real close though.
Hey,
Yeah,
They came pretty close.
Hey, listen, but the 32X, they had a pretty cool Sonic game.
Yeah, that's right. And then and we're gonna get right into that. Sonic, it's not called Sonic the Hedgehog. It's called Knuckles Chaotix.
Yes.
Now, it was supposed to be a new Sonic game, but since they decided to build off of the Knuckles franchise, they figured that let's do Knuckles instead. So Knuckles and a few other, I think there's Nicholas and Echidna.
You want me the characters you wanted
the
to?
characters, yeah, the characters,
They introduced like brand new characters. They
all brand
introduced
new.
Vector, which is the crocodile.
Back in the crocodile, yep.
I Paul, the chameleon, Charming the bee, and there was Mighty the armadillo.
Mighty the armadillo, yes. Now, if you've heard about those characters, Mighty the armadillo, and what was the bee's name again?
Charming.
Charming the bee.
Charming the bee, and Ice Pose the chameleon, and Vector is the crocodile.
Yes. Now, two of those characters actually shows up in a game that's pretty much familiar, Sonic Mania, in the DLC.
Yeah,
so you could be
Sonic,
able to play
actually. They in Sonic Mania, Mighty Armadillo was in it though, but they introduced Ray the Flying Squirrel.
Ray the Flying Squirrel. I'm sorry. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
But the armadillo actually did show up in the.
He did show up in Mania. Yes.
Indeed. So that's that. But that alone, I think, kind of tickles your taste. But a little trivia for you. So if you play these games, and if they just remember the earlier games kind of influenced the newer games.
That's right. Exactly.
So the cool thing about the Knuckles Chaotix, it uses this new technology where you're attached, or you are kind of almost like an extension of yourself, and you use it to propel your character forward or up, depending on which character you're attached to. So each one has a different ability that actually you get to utilize in the game as you go through it. So certain parts, and also there's scaling technology too, where you scale in and out with your characters, going into the background, going into the foreground. All that's kind of thrown into the mix as well. So it's an interesting game. Didn't really knock down doors, but if you could get your hands on that game and the 32X, definitely give it a shot. You may or may not like it. It's a different type of gameplay, but I actually enjoyed it. And once I figured out the controls and how it actually worked, it was fun as hell. I kind of like it.
It was interesting. It was good, but my problem with that is that it's still stuck in the 32X jail, and that they never brought that game to any of the collection. It wasn't in the Mega Collection or the Ultimate Collection. Any of those collections.
Yeah.
Don't surprise me.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I'm not getting a little ahead though. There was another Sonic compilation game for the Sega Saturn. It was called Sonic Jam. They had Sonic 1, they had Sonic 2, they had Sonic 3, which it has the Michael Jackson music in there. So that's another one you can experience that. It also had Sonic and Knuckles, but I don't understand why they did not add that game to it. It was such a missed opportunity.
You know what? I mean, it's surprising enough. I have feeling. I don't think it's because of the licenses. I have a feeling it's because of the team that was behind it. Maybe it could have been the team behind that particular game, because it was a different team. It wasn't really necessarily Sonic team. I think it was like a second party of Sonic team that created the Knuckles Chaotix, that created this new concept. So I don't know. It was weird. Let's see. The Sega Saturn actually had a new adventure that was supposedly going to be a new Sonic game, but it wasn't really. It's like I said, it was called Sonic Jam. like you mentioned.
Right, that was the compilation, but they did
Yeah.
have Sonic 3D Blast. I don't know if he was going to get into that,
Yep.
and it was also
Yep.
on Genesis as well.
And I said to myself, okay, cool. I thought it was going to be a new Sonic game, because they had the 3D stage. You could be able to go throughout the whole entire stage, and you could be able to jump and all that stuff. I think they were testing the stages for a 3D adventure, which we're going to get into.
Okay, you go ahead. I don't want to. I don't want to.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Go ahead.
you get where I'm going, right? So we're
Yes.
gonna get into that. Some people were very disappointed. Some people were very disappointed in Sonic Jam because they thought it was actually going to be a new 3D adventure.
Yeah.
And they, remember the demo? Remember the demo? They actually showed a demo at an E3.
Yes.
They showed the demo, and they said people were expecting a 3D Sonic game.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, were they disappointed because it had nothing to do with a Sonic adventure at all. And it was basically a playground where you get to jump with a 3D version of a Sonic, gathering rings and all that stuff. And certain parts is basically you go to the next game that you can actually play.
Right.
Sega, you slick SOBs. Oh, you slick SOBs. You really got us going. You got us going
really
so bad. Oh, man. Surprisingly enough, and everything, it did well in sales, but people who bought the game were very, very disappointed.
Yeah.
So you know what?
If you
Either
want
way,
a collection of games, then
yeah,
fine. But yeah.
of course. But yeah. So let's
We
just
did talk. We did talk about. I don't know if you was going to get into Sonic 3D Blast, but then
yeah,
there was
we'll get
also
that.
yeah, and then there was also Sonic Spinball.
The spin-offs. Yes, the spin-offs. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we got some spin-offs over there, and then we had there was also Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
That's my wife's favorite game, Mean Bean Machine. Let me tell you something. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine is basically in lieu of the Puyo Puyo games that came out for the that came out for I think it was earlier
arcades though.
Arcades in the arcades, yes.
The
Puyo Puyo games.
What it was.
So so everyone was like, "Oh yeah, cool," and they just slapped Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine on it.
Yeah,
so
and they put all the characters from the cartoons in there. So
yep, exactly. So it was pretty wild how they actually got all those influences and stuff, and get people interested. And so puzzle games, they got it. What do you call pinball games? Another great game. Like I said, we were talking about that.
Yeah, it was different. Yep.
It was different. It was 4 stages. 4 stages. That's right. 4 stages, 4 different levels, and what's weird about it is that the gems, the gems that you collect, it wasn't 7.
Yeah,
it was it was weird because it was like, okay, there's no 7.
It was weird.
Yeah, so for only 4 stages, and dude, confusing.
Yeah.
Hard though. Listen, I would say that Sonic Spinball had the hardest controls because it was very slow and sluggish, and but the way you control your character, it gets wild and sporadic, and there's certain parts where if you go too far, you'll land in the sludge or you'll land in the water, and you'll die and you'll lose a life. I hated that with it, and it's even worse. If you lose your life, you have to do everything all over again.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which pissed me off.
Oh yeah. No one wants to start over again.
What are you doing? Holy crap! I had to do everything all over again. So I had to drain the sludge. I had to go over here. I had to go into this little area. I had to go on this ledge. I had to hit this switch. I gotta do all that stuff all over again, and on top of that, you have to keep the control of your character as well. So, what the hell, man? Anyway, still fun game.
Oh yeah, it still was though, and of course, I would just want to. I'm just gonna mention this real quick. The Sega Master System. They also had Sonic 1, they had Sonic 2, and they had some games called Sonic Chaos and Sonic Blast, and then the Game Gear. The Game Gear had a lot of Sonic games, though. I don't know if you knew. They had a shit ton of
Yeah, they certainly did.
It was crazy because I got the Sonic Mega Collection on the original Xbox, and it has all the Game Gear games. And I saw all these games, I was like, what? Man, some of these games weren't even released here. And I'm just going to go through these lists real quick. We won't go into details on it. They had Sonic 1, they had Sonic 2, they had Sonic Chaos, they had Sonic Triple Trouble, they had Tails Adventure, Sonic Blast, Sonic Labyrinth, they had Sonic Spinball, Tails Sky Patrol. And oh my goodness. Oh yeah, and we can't forget, and then they got the racing game, Sonic Drift and Sonic Drift 2. And I'm telling you, I try to play Sonic Drift, though the controls are so horrible. And speaking of racing games, okay, this game has a very beautiful soundtrack. And I think you know where I'm going with this.
Oh.
It was the Sega Saturn. Sega Saturn had Sonic Jam. They had Sonic 3D Blast. But they had this game called Sonic R. And you want to talk about a bad racing game?
Yes! Oh my God, yes.
It's Sonic R. It's... I always end up in the grass. Every time when I'm trying to make a turn, I always end up in the grass. I just had to throw that in there.
Okay, my players out there, if you want to talk about controls that are like so out of place, and also the fact, but the soundtrack was absolutely beautiful, Sonic R will be right up your alley. Trust me, if you're going to play the game for any reason, the soundtrack alone, that thing should probably influence you. But if you want a game that actually has decent controls, Sonic R is not it, man. It's just okay. Let's just put it this way: the faster you go, the more you're going to slide into the outside of the arena.
Yes,
that's how bad it is.
Yeah.
And I would say Amy's car is the worst one.
Oh, forget it.
Sorry. Amy, yeah. Even though it's a car, it has the worst controls ever. Period.
You are one driving a car and she's the worst one.
Go figure, man. I don't know why. She has a car and it has the worst controls. The worst.
I feel sorry for her. Oh my God.
That's just horrible, bro. I don't get it. I don't get it.
They did her dirty in that one. Oh,
yeah, they certainly did.
Yeah. So I mean, we pretty much did cover all those games, and now we cover everything from to Sega Saturn. Are we ready to go to the Dreamcast?
Yes. Let's talk about the most amazing launch for any console in the face of this planet.
Yes, sir.
Enter the Sega Dreamcast, USA, 1999. 9999. Everybody remembers this date so damn well.
Mm-hmm.
The launch title for the Sonic Adventure.
Yes, 9999. I'll never forget that day.
The most amazing.
I was working at GameStop then.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. You know the excitement. You saw the excitement. Everybody.
Yep,
that line for that console, beautiful. Dude. I don't know how much money I saved for that game. I actually said, you know what? I reserved it.
Summer, man. I was working through that summer, and I was saving my money for that Dreamcast and all those games. It was the best summer.
Yep. And the only reason why that I actually really wanted to get my hands on Sonic Adventure because they launched the Sega Dreamcast earlier in Japan before they actually brought it to the US. Now, 9999 was the US version,
right?
But the Sega Dreamcast, the Japanese version came out. I think it was like a week before. was like a couple of weeks before, I think it was, or was it a month
I thought
before? I
I
forgot.
thought the Dreamcast came out on '98.
98, right? It was a year. It was a year
I
before.
believe it was '98, but I'm gonna
Yeah,
take a look real quick.
yeah. Because I got a chance to play the Japanese version of Sonic Adventure, and I went to a place called Dragon's Den in
Oh
Yonkers.
yes, I remember Dragon's Den.
Yes, and they actually got their hands on the Japanese version of the Sega Dreamcast.
Okay, the
And
Japanese Dreamcast, the Dreamcast came out in Japan. It was November 27th of 1998.
yeah,
So it was we had to wait almost like close to a year for it.
that's crazy though. I was
That was
wondering.
insane.
Yeah, that was. But the cool thing about it is that a lot of the Japanese games, were different. Blue Stinger, I believe was actually one of the launch titles.
Yes.
Blue Stinger, Sonic Adventure, one game I forgot what the game was called, but it was like a weird RPG-ish type of game. Evolution something, I forgot what it was called.
Okay.
It was a weird RPG. And there's a few other games that came out in Japan. Their launch title was.
I remember they had some New Japan Pro Wrestling games as well.
That's right. The New Japan. That's right. The New Japan Fire Japan Pro Wrestling actually came out for it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think it was Tokyo.
I remember seeing that game because they had members from NWO Japan in that game.
Ah, that's right. Yeah. Holy cow! Yeah, dude. So anyway, I played Sonic Adventure before it came to the US, but they made some adjustments and they fixed the camera angles in the US version because the Japanese version's camera angles were all over the place. And there was a lot of glitches in the Japanese version. Yeah, they certainly did. So basically, they were test dummies. There's test dummies for the most awesome US version of Sonic Adventure, but the most amazing soundtrack, by Suda 51. What a amazing soundtrack! You know, I tell everybody this. I said, listen, you listen to this soundtrack and you're in. You are in.
Yeah.
This is the best of the entire series.
It still is. Mm-hmm. So open your heart. The soundtrack for the beginning of the game and of course the end of the game as well.
Yeah.
And then of course
Okay. I'll tell you what, man. I'll never forget the first stage when you're running through that bridge and you see the killer whale just coming right through.
Yo,
dude,
that blew me away.
When I first saw that scene, I was like, wow, it blew me away.
That was the most coolest thing. People saw that. People were like, oh wow, and just the fact that you could be able to do all that stuff that you could actually do. And of course, when you go into town trying to find the next stage, it was kind of confusing in a sense.
It was. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but once you do.
You think so? It wasn't confusing or not? You know where to go, or you?
I seem to adapt to it no problem, but I like those kind of games and that kind of layout.
Okay, cool.
Because that layout's like that in Final Fantasy, so I guess I'm kind of used to it.
Yeah.
It was aesthetically pleasing to me. I like that hub. I like the atmosphere of the hub.
Yeah.
But gotcha.
The cool thing about Sonic Adventure is that you don't play just Sonic. You actually play as six other characters, I believe.
Yes. Tony just said one already.
Oh yeah, Big the Cat, of course.
Big the Cat's my boy.
Yeah. Amy Rose.
Yeah,
Amy Rose, Tails, Miles per Hour. You could play as
E123 Omega.
Omega.
I love the way when he falls down. He's like, mission failed.
Mission failed. Yep.
Yeah.
And I think.
And then if you do all the objections, the objections in the game, you get to play a Supersonic.
There you go. So basically it is 7. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 7.
And I thought that was awesome.
Yep. And it's a the cool concept of the thing, the Chaos Garden. So
Oh
you have
yeah.
the little child garden. So you get to collect little eggs and you can hatch them. And the cool feature is the VMU that you could be able to
Yes, you
carry
could train
around
them.
your little. You could train them and train them up in a thing while you do, almost like a little Tamagotchi. Tamagotchi was big back then. If
Yep.
you okay, I'm a little dated. I'm gonna kind of to show you my
Hey,
age.
those were fun back in the days,
Yeah,
man.
I'm gonna show you my age. The little Tamagotchis,
Mine
the little.
died.
Listen, dude, listen.
I
There,
forgot to
that
feed him and he died.
here's a funny thing about the Tamagotchis
I
and
used to
thing.
bring that to bring that to school with me.
Yeah, the Tamagotchis, they were made to die. They were you could feed them, you can coddle them, you can you can do whatever you want with them. I know people that had them for like 3 days. Some people had it for like 6 days, but they're designed to die. As soon as and because you'll take it out of your pocket one day, out of the blue. Oh, little you can name them whatever you want to do, and you pick and you want to talk about eternal sadness. They're designed to make you sad, and I think that was a bad thing to do because those little things make you cry because you spent all that time
Yeah.
feeding them and coddling them and all that stuff. You're like, oh, look at him grow, and then all of a sudden you pick it out of your pocket and you see him like crumpled over, and you look, God,
See, if I saw that, I'd laugh, dude. Come on.
I
Listen, it
mean,
takes a big man to cry. It takes an even bigger man to laugh at that man.
but seriously though,
It
those
was
top.
just cute. It was just so cute looking at your VMU. You get to see your little
Yeah.
captain walking in the garden, just walking right in the field. That was unique. I like that.
I was trying to breed him so that, like, train him so that he'd be the fast. And the stupid little, I didn't know what I was doing because he was still crawling while everyone else was running. He was crawling like a
Oh,
little baby.
yeah. Listen, that's what's frustrating about the child gardens because I didn't know what to do because each one that you collect has a different strength and weakness. But you had
Yeah.
to like feed them certain things and you had to
Yeah.
do certain things with them. I didn't know that to make them faster. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
remember I killed a Tamagotchi, so I had no idea what the
That's
hell
pretty
was
much what it is. Yeah.
I had to look it up. I had to go to GameFAQs. I had to look inside freaking old was Game Pro magazine to look to I had to look at all that stuff to try
Yeah,
to figure
there
out.
was some there was some websites that back then like EGM and yeah.
Yeah, exactly. To
What
figure
you gotta
out
do.
because I had no idea how to build them up. The little chows instead of the chow garden. So anyway, long story short, I just said, you know what, F the chow garden thing. I just want to finish the game. Uh, you know,
Right.
of course they actually, with the new updated versions of Sonic Adventure and stuff like that, they actually do have chow gardens too.
Yeah,
But it's not the same.
it was the DX version. It was the director's cut. It came out on the GameCube.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So they made some improvements, and I think they made it
Yeah.
faster. So
Graphic.
instead of 30 frames, it's actually 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
And everything's faster. But I also found it to be a little bit glitchier too, because I think because of the
I've
speed.
heard about that.
Yeah, there were certain stages and everything like you shouldn't fall off this stage. You shouldn't do that. Come on, man. But they made more improvements when they actually brought it out for the Sega, not for the
Xbox Live
Xbox Live Arcade. Yeah.
and PSN. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So of course, Sonic the Adventure, then Sonic Adventure 2 came out about 2 years later. 3 years later, actually. It's 3 years
Yeah,
later.
it came out in 2001.
2001, exactly. And there's
Yep.
the introduction of Shadow the Hedgehog.
And Bruce the Bat.
And Rogue the Bat.
Rogue. Yeah, some
Yeah.
people say Bruce, some people say Rogue. I'm like, how do you pronounce? How do these names get announced? People say it like differently. I don't even.
I
think
don't know.
I'm saying it myself.
I don't
Yeah.
even know. It doesn't mean anything. Well, think about Rogue. What is a rogue?
Yeah.
Basically it's someone who actually, is heavily influenced in in the darkness and everything. Basically, they always
Right.
is out. It's outcast. They're basically a rogue is
Yeah.
an outcast.
Pretty
But
much.
It's in my
Yes.
screen name, dude.
huh? Yeah,
It's in my
well,
screen name.
yeah. There you go.
Mhm.
Coolest thing about that series, because people considered Sonic Adventure 2 to be the most epic, basically the most epic story.
Yeah. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was. The fact of the matter is because not only do you have like different characters to choose, there are two separate teams.
Yes.
You have your Sonic team, and then you have your Shadow team, but you also have the Eggman team, which is actually kind of thrown in there as in the mix, which is weird.
Yeah, there were two teams. There was Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, all three of them together, and
Yep.
then on the Dark team, it was Shadow, Doctor Robotnik, and all,
And Rouge,
and Rouge the Bat. Yeah,
Rouge
and
the
then there wasn't no, but I was thinking about E123, but Omega, but he didn't come back until Sonic Heroes.
Yeah, Sonic Heroes. That's right.
Yeah.
But
You're
those
right.
but two different teams. Now the cool thing about it is that you do both stories. You do
Yes.
the one side of the story, and you do his side of the story. Now, spoiler alert, they actually converge and everything at the final story, the last part of the story. So they converge at the end. Most epic soundtrack to that. Live and Learn. Sorry, but not sorry. The most epic freaking soundtrack you would ever hear in any, well, I can't say any video game. I would say most video game soundtracks. I would say Live and Learn is one of those games, one of those soundtracks that you can listen to when you're in the gym.
Yeah. You know what's my favorite track in Sonic Adventure 2?
Which one?
Meteor Herd with Knuckles.
Oh, dude!
I love that track.
Listen, that you know what? That hip hop soundtrack.
I love that track so much.
Man. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I was like, damn. He's like, I'm Knuckles. I'm, dude.
Help me get the emeralds.
Yeah, get emeralds. Yeah, man. And but you know what's frustrating about those stage though? This is like you were searching for the shards.
Yes, you have to be a look on your meteor, and then you have to see
beep. And you're like, where the hell is it? Is it down on the bottom? Is it down on the top? Is it on the train? Is it moving? Yo, sorry, man, I can't. Those are the stages that you just want to finish as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
But yes, I would say Sonic Adventure 2. Now, here's another fun fact. Today also tells you that Sonic Adventure 2 becomes 25 years old. Ooh.
Oh man, do I feel old?
Can you believe it? 25 years ago.
I'll never forget
Sonic Adventure 2 got released.
In Japan. Yeah, and it was released on the 19th of June here in the States, though, so we managed to get it a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, it came out in Japan.
That's crazy. That's crazy, though.
Came out in Japan like on that day. 25 years, man.
Listen, I don't know.
Where did the time go?
Listen, you know what though? With age, just like wine, we get better age. No, we get better.
I don't like it.
I don't care.
I want to go back.
Listen, man, I want to go back too. Listen, the 80s and 90s were the best times of our lives. When it comes to video games, this new generation doesn't know. This new generation doesn't know. No. They don't know. They will never know that we had it amazing in our past.
Yes.
We were the lords of the manor, the kings of the castle. We didn't care what console you actually rocked because we played them all. And you know what? all the games were freaking good. Well, not okay. I can't say all the games. There were some games that were like, oh,
Yeah,
wow.
there were some games that were like,
Yeah, yeah. But you know what though? But there would be good
ET
experiences.
anyone?
Yeah, buddy.
I'm just
Uh,
saying.
uh,
You tend to look at the
uh.
past through nostalgia eyeglasses, man.
Well,
There are parts
I
that
tell you,
weren't
I
that
tell
great,
you.
dude.
uh, dude,
Yeah.
there were some games in the thing that were just like I paid money. There's games that I actually paid money, good money
Yeah.
too, for almost $60. I brought it home and I said, "What the heck?" I was thinking. There's one game. There's a fighting game called Tough Enough. I know I'm sidetracking, but it's Tough Enough. I thought it looked pretty cool on the box, right? Brought it home. What the hell was I thinking? Holy crap! The worst controls I ever played in my entire life. I said, "No, sir. Why did I buy?" And you know what? This is before they had like trading. You could be able to trade your games in. GameStop didn't have no trading system. There was nothing like that except for Funko Land. And
You
Funko
just
Land I didn't know about until like I don't know later on before Dreamcast actually got released.
uh,
Nah,
it's funny
worst
that you
experience of my life.
mentioned it's funny that you mentioned
Anyway,
a fighting game.
we're actually kind of closing into the future of gaming. So you want to get your final licks and everything about some of the games that actually influenced you, that felt that you felt good about before we go into the games that we are playing today.
Well,
What do
for
you
all the Sonic games, I was just gonna mention when you said about fighting
mean?
games. So, Sonic did have a fighting game. It was called Sonic the Fighters, and
Mm.
let's just say that game wasn't too pleasant. I mean, Sonic's kick combo looks like he was doing he was doing like a high kick pose. Pop, pop, pop.
Ah, bro, yo,
I
dude.
just had to throw that in there.
Oh God, man.
Yeah,
And what
but
about what? Go ahead. Go ahead.
no. Do you want me to mention some of the? Well, we did mention. We finished up with Sonic Adventure 2 though, but there was Sonic Heroes though later on that came out for the GameCube,
Yep.
Xbox, and PS2.
Yep.
But this time you had four teams though. Four teams. You had the Sonic team, which is
Mhm.
Sonic, Tails, Knuckles. You
Yep.
had Amy's team, which was Amy, Big the Cat, and Cream.
Yep.
And then also in the Dark team, you had Shadow, E123 Omega, and Rogue the Bat. That's why I was
Mm.
getting confused with Sonic Adventure 2 because I remember Dr. Robotnik was playable.
Yeah, there
Omega
you go.
didn't come back till later. So
Yep. Mhm.
that's what it was. And the Chaos team, the Chaos team was with I what was the name again? Ice Pro, the Chameleon,
Mm.
Vector, the Crocodile, and Charmy the Bee. So
Ah.
yeah, so that was four teams right there. So you got Ice Cold, the Chameleon, and Vector, the Crocodile, and Charmy the Bee, and that one team right there. But there was four teams, and then they all like after you play through those four teams, you get to see how they all connected together, which that's what I liked about that game.
Indeed.
So
And then you got Sonic Heroes. Yeah, the soundtrack. Yeah,
yeah,
you gotta get
great, great
about that.
introduction. I thought that was fantastic, and then after that, we got to talk about this one. We won't talk about much of it though. The disaster of Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. That came out on the
Oh,
Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3.
yeah, the debut of Silver the Hedgehog.
Yes.
Um, see
Yeah.
what's
I think they
tragic
rushed it.
what's tragic about that, and I tell people this all the time. Silver really got the bad apple on this one. Silver wasn't actually a likable character. Unfortunately, the game that surrounded that character did not really didn't they kind of missed the mark. And even though the graphics seemed pretty cool, I mean, for a Xbox 360 PlayStation 3 title, it turned out to be, you know, eye-catching. The graphics look
Yeah.
good. Problem was, controls, the glitches,
Yeah.
the out, like for instance, out of sync moments, like basically when you're trying to go on a straight path, you're going fast enough, but for some odd reason the ground was crumbling before you even got there,
Yeah.
which doesn't make any damn sense. You're supposed to like blast forward and actually, be ahead of it. But for some odd reason, your character didn't even get that far and it collapses before you even get to the edge. And I'm like, how is that even possible? You know how many times I
Yeah.
actually had to start a stage all over again? Especially the part in the thing where you're actually at the tower and you're going around the tower and stuff like that, and you have all that surrounded by water, and you have to like jump on these little platforms, and you're bouncing off of them one, two, and three, right? And then
Yeah.
you go onto this partner thing where you're supposed to like skate on this thing and go around the tower. There's a part that didn't even attach to the freaking skate. You literally miss it, and you go through the tower and you die.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. That was bad.
So, bro,
I felt like I feel like they rushed the game. I think
they
that's what
did.
they did.
They did. They didn't test it properly. The soundtrack was pretty decent. I did finish the game. I like the fact that they actually had a moment and everything where Silver becomes a Super Silver, and you have Super Sonic, and you have Super, So
Right.
all three of them actually became super, versions of
Right.
themselves,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty cool.
Exactly. Yeah. But
But I didn't really get too attached to the human characters. The human characters didn't really.
it
They felt
didn't.
out of
Yeah.
place.
It didn't. Yeah.
So other than that,
I get what you're saying.
then of course of course let's not forget the Game Boy Advance versions of Sonic. They actually had a
Those
lot
are
of
great
versions of
games.
that too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sonic Advance 1, Sonic Advance 2, Sonic Advance 3. Those are great games. What I liked about but you can actually unlock characters when when you process through the game though. Like I remember Sonic Advance 2, after you save Cream from Dr. Robotnik in the first stage, you could actually play her.
yeah.
You could actually each characters had their own abilities. So the advance if you never the Sonic Advance games were really great. I wish they could like re-release those games. Those games, the graphics were fantastic. I wish
For Game Boy Advance was ahead of its time. Let's just put it that
Yeah.
way.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. These
Yeah.
these were fantastic games. I highly recommend people play this. And speaking of handheld, there was a Neo Geo Pocket Color game called Sonic the Hedgehog Pocket Adventures. It was
I
on the
remember
Neo
that.
Geo
I
Pocket.
remember that one. Yes, yes. Wasn't
That was
it?
a good one.
Yeah, it was hard to find now. You can't even find it anymore. I
It's
mean,
very hard to find. It's a
yeah.
very rare one, but it's actually a good one though. And then there is Sonic Jam on the TireGame.com.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was bad. That was a pretty bad one, but I figured we'd go to the handhelds. And then we had the Nintendo DS. They had Sonic Rush. Great game, by the way. But fantastic.
For 3DS, I mean the DS. I mean that's
The
right,
DS,
DS,
for the
DS,
DS.
yeah.
And then there was Sonic Rush Adventure, which was a sequel.
Yeah.
Those were good games too. And then there was also Sonic Colors that came out later. Wasn't bad, but I prefer the DS version because it was a 2D platform. The Wii version was a 3D platform game. But then later on, like I'd say, what was it like almost like a decade later, they brought out Sonic Colors Ultimate. They brought out for the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch.
Yeah.
So yeah, they brought that out, and then this is another great game, Sonic Generations, that came out on the Xbox 360 and PS3, and then there was also an updated version that came out like 2 years ago, back in 2020, back in 2024. It was Sonic Cross Shadow Generations. It's an updated version.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good one because you had a mix of 2D platform and a mix of 3D platform, which I thought was unique.
Yeah,
Best.
it was almost like the generations. Basically, you had Sonic the Hedgehog, who didn't speak at all, and then you had the Sonic who actually can, which is kind of weird in a sense.
Yeah.
So, but it was cool nonetheless. and also the fact that you had these secret stages and all these little secret warps that you could do, and and of course you can collect the Chaos Emeralds as well, so which is cool.
Yeah.
And of course, the ending where it could basically is cross generational, the powers and stuff like that, and you're actually going after this. Yeah, they
Yeah.
always at the big bad at the end, of course.
Of course,
Yeah,
it's always going to be a big pack at the end, regardless, though.
yeah,
And then,
exactly.
yeah. Did you? What are your thoughts on Sonic Unleashed, though? That's when we got to see Sonic transform into the werewolf.
Okay, Sonic Unleashed. I have to say, we're gonna make this brief. Sonic
Yeah.
Unleashed is one of those games that were very uh, different, eccentric. Um, I like the fact that you could be able to transform because basically it was an experiment that Dr. Robotnik did, and basically was going to turn him, but it backfired because his
Yeah.
his his powers made him more feral, and
Yes.
but you could turn back, you can back and forth. You actually have Sonic form, and then you also have the Beast form, which actually has melee attacks and everything with the claws and stuff like that. And you can be able to destroy the enemies. Um, is it a cool game? Definitely worth a shot. It's like an honor, let's little honorable
Check that
mention.
out. I
Another
highly
game
recommend
is
check that
talk
out.
about we have to mention too is the Sonic and the Black Knight.
For the Wii, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
What are your
it's
thoughts? I
another
never
game
played it.
that really wasn't it didn't really hit any it was more like one of those Game Boy GameCube adventures, and people, yeah, I guess you could enjoy it,
Yeah.
but it didn't really hit any, it was more like an action adventure type of thing than like the traditional Sonic type of things.
Yeah. And then
So
there was also Sonic and the Secret Rings that was on the Wii as well. And there was
another
Sonic
one.
Lost Worlds.
Yeah.
There weren't big bangers though. But I'll tell you what was I'll tell you which people were waiting for this game for a long time. It was the Sonic the Hedgehog 4 episodes 1 and 2 that came out on the Xbox Live. Then in PSN didn't really hit the mark though. But there was one.
They made Sonic slow in Sonic 4. Sonic 4, he pick up any speed at all.
Yeah.
It's almost like they made him slower.
Yeah.
It
Didn't hit the
defeats the
mark
purpose.
though.
Yeah.
And then there was episode 2. They brought in Tails.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
Then they
So
brought
they made some minor improvements and stuff like that. And
yeah.
and of course, you know, moving on to today, we got the racing games and stuff. There's a lot of racing games that came out. I mean, we
Yeah.
can go on and on. It's just like so
Yeah,
many, so many
yeah. I
things.
just and plus some of the mentions though, like these are some of the two games that I liked recently. It was Sonic Mania, which I love dearly. Yeah, I
Yes.
thought it was fantastic. And Sonic Superstars was a 2.5D game though. You could play 4 players at the same time though. I actually liked that game. I
Yeah.
actually thought it was fantastic. I highly recommend people check those out. But before we get into the racing, though, there was I was surprised there was another good Sonic 3D game. It was called Sonic Frontiers, which I still have. I haven't opened it yet, though. But I was thinking about maybe playing it like right after I come back from Evo.
Yeah,
And then,
different protagonists that they basically captures all of your friends and brings them into this like shadow, like it brings us this weird dimension, and basically was kind of challenging Sonic in a sense because she actually was trying to test his power in a sense. That's exactly what she's doing. So the influence actually was big.
right.
And big bosses, of course, and you turn into Supersonic in every single boss. So
Oh, that's
yeah.
cool.
So
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
I'll definitely have some fun with that, though. But
Hmm.
yeah, but then of course we had another miss with Sonic Forces. I didn't hear good things about it, so I didn't even bother checking it out. And then there
Nah,
was for the 3DS there was Sonic Boom games. It was based off the
based
cartoon.
off
It
the
was Captain
cartoons.
Crystal. Yeah, Fire and Ice, and then there was one on the Wii U called Rise of the Lyric.
Yeah.
You know, and then there was a Mario part we forgot to mention about the Mario Party type game. Sonic had a party game.
Yeah,
Sonic
Sonic Shuffle. Yeah. Didn't hit. Didn't hit.
It didn't hit though. So I'm assuming. And then we had the Tiger handheld games. We had Sonic 1, 2, 3, Spinball, and there was a Sonic wristwatch.
Oh, that's right. I wanted that. I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. It was in a plastic little thing, and I actually saw it hanging on the wall, and I wanted it. It was going for like $20 or $20 or something like that, and I wanted it because it actually showed. It told the time. It told the time. You know, but you get to play games on it too. Come on.
Yeah.
Any kid would want that. I want that. Absolutely.
I really wanted that. Oh man. And then there was Sonic 3D Blast, so on the Tiger handheld game. I tell you, man, Tiger really loves Sonic, so they do. And so it was like, okay, go ahead.
They milked it. They milked him. They milked him like like an old milkmaid.
Yeah, and then of course and then we had there was a bunch of mobile games. The latest mobile game was Sonic Rumble. I see a couple of people they're like promoting all the stuff that's happening with Sonic Rumble. It's a mobile game, so
yeah.
And then you want to talk about the racing games though. There was Sonic Riders. There was Sonic Rivals 1 and 2 that came out on PSP. There was Sonic Riders on Zero Gravity for the PS2 and Wii. Then you could go on and go on with Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing.
Yes, absolutely. And listen, the only game that actually had Banjo-Kazooie was actually the All-Star Racing with it has to be All-Star Racing with Banjo-Kazooie. That's the only one that actually had the debut of Banjo-Kazooie in it. And believe it or not, that's in the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 jail right now. You will not be able to play that on any other console right now.
It's also on the Wii as well.
And it's on the Wii. So you have a better chance of playing on the Wii right now.
Yeah. So, you'll have to get a physical copy.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And then of course we had to go into what we are dealing with the present, which is Sonic Crossworlds.
Sonic Crossroads, and then there was two more games before that. We had Sonic and All Stars Racing Transform.
Transformed. Yes, I forgot about that one. Yes,
yeah.
which I actually just played recently. I'm surprised I forgot about that one.
Yeah, and there was Team Sonic Racing, which came out later on though.
Yeah,
and then Sonic Racing Crossroads. That game, I love the game. I have so much fun with that game.
And believe it or not, they're still adding more DLC as we speak. Ninja Turtles is coming soon. What's this coming soon? Avatar is coming soon. And of course, there's some other.
Retarded.
Yeah.
We still have to race against each other. This is why we need to do, a get together where all of us have to stream. That's one of our games we have to play with all three of us.
Listen, players of the thing, if you guys are actually interested in the thing, and celebrate with us, listen, Sonic, thing is still giving the love and the thing. If you want to join us in the thing, join us on our Xbox Live, Xbox, our gamer tags. We're gonna put those in the little posts that we're gonna do on our video, so that way you can actually join us. We're gonna probably do it hopefully soon because we got it.
I would love to do it sooner, man. Yeah. I'm hoping next month if everything goes well.
Indeed.
We'll see what happens with that though. But that's the game we all three of us in our community we gotta all get together, just race each other, have a good time.
Indeed.
And then now you say you remember the clash between Sonic and Mario. Well, they did it, but they did it at the Olympic Games though. And could you imagine there was like 6 Olympic Games of Sonic and
I believe it. They
I'm just gonna say right there. Sonic Olympic Games, we on DS, they had the Olympic Winter Games, London 2012 came out on the 3DS and the Wii, and then 2014 Winter Games on the Wii U. The Rio 2016 Olympic Games on the Wii U, 3DS, and the arcade.
Yep, I remember that.
And the last one was Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, which was on the Switch and the arcades.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, and everything, they pushed those games into the arcade, man. So how could I say? You go figure.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, we're since we're actually getting to our closing
Yeah,
times
we're
and
almost
everything,
closing though, and then
which
the only thing we could talk about is the cartoon. We got like the cartoons and the movies,
yeah.
you know.
Now the movies, believe it or not, well, before we get to go into
All the
closing
games
the
right
thing, we
there.
gotta talk about the folly that would have actually been the detriment of the movies. The
Yes.
so-called version of Sonic that we would have had versus the Sonic that we actually have today.
Mm-hmm.
I have to show you those two, and I'm going to show you to those right now. And boom, check this out. Boom, boom. Show those right there. Oh my God. Can you imagine having this little rat and everything showing up right over here, and then versus this little guy that's going to be like the Sonic that we actually love? Can you
Oh,
imagine that? Oh my gosh. Yo,
I
why?
couldn't, I couldn't believe what that came in reality. You want to know what's crazy though? When after they fixed Sonic, we thought we were never going to see that disgusting thing ever again. But can you believe? I don't know if you remember. There was this movie called it was called Chip and Dale's. It was like a movie that came and
Yes.
they actually brought the ugly Sonic. I thought we would never see that thing again.
Oh my
Oh,
God, dude.
my nightmares came back when I saw
Yo,
that.
listen, let me tell you something. Because the original artist worked on the Chip and Dale movie, they actually had his character put into the movie, and
I couldn't
basically
believe it
it
when I
was
saw that.
listen, literally he was ripping on himself
Yes,
in that
I
whole.
did see that scene. Yes.
I was laughing my ass off. I said, "Oh my God!" But you know what though? But that was cool though. I actually liked that. I actually liked the
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought that was banana. I could not believe I saw that. I was like,
Yeah,
wow, they actually brought that thing back.
indeed.
It's a
So
thing.
yeah, so go ahead, go ahead. What you gonna say?
No,
Before you,
I was just gonna say that about the ugly, but then go ahead because it was good thing they fixed it though because I guarantee you if they did not fix that, we would not have these sequels to this
nope.
day.
As a matter of fact, it would have bombed on the box office and everything, and no one would actually speak of the Sonic the Hedgehog movies again. It would be almost like as infamous as the Super Mario Brothers movie. The old
Oh yeah,
one, the one with the what's it
Bob Hoskins and
Bob
John
Hoskins.
Leguizamo. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It would have been just like that. It would have been like infamous. But
Oh yeah.
anyway, but anyway, guys. I want you guys to be able to tell me what is your favorite Sonic movement. What gave you the influence and everything? Do you love Sonic as much as I do? Do you like Sonic as much as we do? I want you to show your love and a thing. Give us your shout outs. Tell me how you feel. Do some pictures. Embrace this moment. 35 years of Sonic. And can you imagine another 35? Probably past
Oh man,
my
it's already past our
I,
time, man.
yeah, past our
But
time. But Sonic will live forever. Thank everyone at Sonic Team. I really appreciate everything bringing Sonic into our lives. You really have. Like you really shook the industry with this wonderful little
I
hedgehog,
want to. I
and
also
we
want
love.
to. Yeah, I'm sorry. I also want to throw a no before because we won't go to it, but we also got to thank those cartoons as well. I
Yeah,
loved it. I loved the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Then there was Sonic the Hedgehog, the serious tone that came on Saturday morning. Then we had
yeah,
Sonic Underground,
underground.
which had
Yep.
Sonic siblings. They're looking for their mother. There was Sonic X, and it's like
Shout out to
I thought
Jamal
this,
White. Shout out to
what's
Jamal
that?
White and everything, voicing voicing those characters,
Oh yeah,
some of those characters.
yeah.
Mm.
Exactly. And then every Christmas I would watch the Sonic Christmas Blast special.
Ah, that's
It's
right.
on BT. MeTV Tunes has been playing it for the past 2 years they've been on, but I watch that like every Christmas.
Oh
So
man.
I love the entertainment that we have for Sonic though. So yeah, Sonic's been coming out with like cartoons. They made action figures,
Mm.
clothing. You know, yeah, I mean, it's a phenomenal. Yeah, Sonic is an icon, and he ain't going anywhere.
Nope. And Sonic forever.
Yeah.
Tony, any last words before we actually give it go to a close?
No, not really. My experience with Sonic, I do love the character, but my experience is mostly in the original trilogy and Sonic Adventure. I have not had the pleasure of playing the anything that came out of the Nintendo systems or the Sega CDs.
Oh, okay,
But
cool.
what I played, I love. And I have this weird trackball arcade version of Sonic.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yes,
Yeah,
the
I have
track
that.
version of Sonic the
It is
Hedgehog.
hard. It is
Oh,
hard.
yeah, bro. Oh my
Damn.
gosh, dude, I forgot all about
Yeah.
that freaking dude. I played that a long, long time ago when they actually had it at Nathan's. And let me tell you something. You wanted to lose your quarters? Play that game and hope that you're actually fast enough. Because they have a trackball and a jump button. That's it. That's all you got. And the trackball, you got
Oh,
and every single part, man, it's ridiculous. Especially the part
yeah.
when we literally have to climb up the stairs. You have to use the ball, and what pisses me off is that when you do the track ball and you actually accidentally flick it the wrong other direction, he'll go down instead of up.
Oh,
Yo,
that is a
I,
disaster.
you want to lose quarters? That's exactly how you lose quarters.
Did you guys? I don't know if you guys knew. Did you know there was a Sonic athletes arcade game, and it had to be played on a treadmill up to 8 players.
Oh, I mean, yo, guys, check this out. Look at this. That's
If you can show a picture of it.
ridiculous, dude. You want to lose weight? If you love Sonic and you want to compete and you actually want to lose weight, jump on these bad boys. Check it out. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna
Oh,
lose
that'll
those
get you in good
calories, baby.
shape.
Gotta go fast. Oof,
Yeah,
oof.
gotta go fast, like the Sonic X theme song.
Yes, indeed. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us and everything to this awesome celebration and thing. Shout out to all of our awesome players out there. Keep on playing those Sonic games. Show the influence and everything. Play those Sonic games like you never thought. And also to the influencers that right now who is celebrating the same thing. Happy birthday, Sonic. 35 years of the most awesome blue blur we've ever seen and everything. The Hedgehog with an attitude. We love it very much and everything. And we're looking
Yeah.
forward to all the great adventures that you're going to give us in the future. So, all I got to say is, gotta go fast.
Yes.